Good evening, Ugly Truth. Good evening, John. Good evening. Good evening, good evening. That's me. One moment. Just let me just check me over. Check it's running everywhere. Yeah, VK. D Live. Truvo. Good evening. Welcome to NHPUK TV. Our first official show of the year. Well, official on the TV bit. Obviously, I'm going to be starting a weekly show with Paul Rimmer about faith, the party, helping out and stuff like that. If you'd like to help out in May, we've got a big election in Oldham in May. If you'd like to help out, I need your help. I'm confident of getting a large stock of votes, but I'm not going to do that unless, obviously, we've got people on the street and stuff. So next May is a big election in Oldham. I just want people to start doing the right thing. We have a recruitment leaflet that's out. I'll quickly show you. Our recruitment leaflet. I've done about 1,000 in Oldham. I had around 10,000. I'd say about 8,000. The general recruitment leaflet. Obviously, there'll be another leaflet going out for my campaign in May, which I'm already designing now. So next May, if you want to get involved, email us. Pat's down London. He can leaflet a lot. So if you've got an area, I think he's doing the outer areas of London rather than the inner areas because there isn't no elections for 4 years in his ward. So he's doing other wards. But if you would like to help us, there are our emails. If you're my friend on Facebook or anything like that, you can get me get in contact there. The party website. Good evening, Mark Williams. Party website there. Please have a look at it. If you're interested, please join. You can help us just by joining and paying the fee to join. That will be a big help for us. We've only got so many members. We have had a few bits like that. We've not really had any kind of donations. But through the website, don't worry about my PayPal. Through the website, there is a PayPal link and a Patreon link or donor box link, so you can donate through there. But please just help us. The thing is, if I just take one council seat off Labour and it goes to a non-mainstream political group, my party or another party, an independent or anything like that is only a good thing. I mean, if you followed me before, you would know that I've gone on about independence and hyper-local political parties, which we have around 180, 190 now of these parties, and they're taking seats in elections. And soon, it won't be so black and white about Labour and the Conservatives. I don't want to sneeze. Oh. It won't be so black and white. They don't want us to see this, and they don't want us to get involved. And I will say, obviously the referendum in UKIP was a big thing to push people to vote differently. And a lot of the people I talk to, old, young, new, they all have started to vote differently rather than the mainstream parties. So please join the National Housing Party. Yes, Kevin, I've put the link in. Go and have a look at our website. If you can offer us any kind of help, that'd be very, very generous of you, or it'd be very acceptable if you can offer us help. Practically everyone, there's nobody behind the scenes, nobody with invisible names here. We do have some articles that are being written that are anonymous, but everyone who does stuff for our party is a named person. We don't hide. We haven't got people in the background who are evil people plotting and downfalling and puppeteering people. Just don't work like that. We do want to progress to having a committee, of 12 people who were in the party, and we're well on the way now to getting them 12 people. But if you know us, me or Pat McGinnis, if you want to get involved, please get involved. Again, we're new stylos. We're not as political correct as most local political parties. There's no hate coming from us. We just want a better England, and we want rights for Indigenous people who live. We want rights for people who live in Britain, and I don't just mean white people, because at the moment nobody's got any rights. No matter where you come from in the world, if you settled over here, your money's being sucked away. You're having to all this fuel crisis, which we shouldn't have to be going through. So anyone who's a British citizen, that's who we're here for. Anybody. Obviously, we don't want any asylum seekers, refugees, and illegals will be treated as criminals. But, we've helped everyone else. On here, in here, it says, in here, in the leaflet, it says, we've helped enough people around the world. We still help people around the world in other ways. Besides foreign aid and stuff like that, we help people. We're sick of it, and we've no room for anyone, and we want to protect the identity of Great Britain. We want to protect that. But yeah, please join the party. Information's there. Again, May is a big time for me. It'll be my third election. I'm sure that I will be getting more than 174 votes than I got at the beginning. I will be getting more than that. I'm hoping for hundreds of votes, which will be a big wake-up call to people in Oldham, the other councillors, the council in general, that, like the little man's coming in and he's going to have a good time. The McCarthy plan, is that my mate John? Good evening, sir. Yes, Peter Smith, good evening there. Peter, just the other weekend, came out for me for a day. We did a lot of, we did about 1,000 of our recruitment leaflets. So thanks for the help, Peter. Peter was also my election agent in the first election. He didn't do much because I didn't do anything except for all I went round is leafleting. But on the particular day, we had to visit the polling stations, get numbers of how many people have been voting to get an idea of how many people are going to turn out. And I've got a pretty good check on that now. And it was even less this time in November than the time before of people turning out. But it's going to be well advertised. So the election in May should be a good turnout for all Oldham wards, because it is an important election and it is a big election. So there's certainly going to be a lot of stuff going on. There is 3 Member of Parliament positions up for grabs. Now, Members of Parliament don't have to live in the borough. You don't have to live in the borough to be a Member of Parliament. So I'm wondering if it's going to garner any attraction from other groups. English Constitution Party, Daddy Dragon's lot have run in the MP elections. UKIP throw people in the MP elections. Will there be any independents like Jada Franson maybe? But there's 3 Member of Parliament positions up for grabs, as well as 60 council seats. So it's certainly the biggest election in Oldham's history, going back 30, maybe 40 years. It is to me, as a voter, it is to me. Certainly 30 years, but it is to me. Good evening, Kim, Kevin. Good evening, guys. So yeah, Ellie Williams found guilty, so she had lied. But thinking about Ellie's case, when I first went to Barrow, we did a protest, and I got contacted after I went to Barrow. It was through Facebook, actually. I don't remember the person's name because it was over a year ago, but they were a lefty. And then they sent me evidence of other stuff. I looked into it, and then I thought, well, she has lied. And I said that since. But what I have said is don't let it distract you from what is going on in Barrow. We know there is child sexual exploitation, aka rape gang type thing, going on in Barrow. How do we know? I've put the evidence up. There's guys been arrested in West Yorkshire in connection with Cumbria. And I remember talking to Debbie Barrett-Cole at the demo we had for Ellie in Preston. And she said they've been trafficked as far as Oldham and Manchester. And these girls have. People aren't looking at the bigger picture and things. And we know that this has happened. We know that this has happened. And I mean, the police, I want to have faith in the police. I really do, ladies and gentlemen. And if you know me and you've seen me interact with the police on camera, I don't swear and shout. I was in Wakefield the other last year with Active, and where Active was shouting and swearing at the copper, I wasn't. This is me. I'll talk to the police. I do want to have faith. As a local councillor, I have to liaise with the police as a local councillor, so it's not going to go away. But do I have any faith in the police in Barrow? No, I don't. The police have already took people to court on charges, girls, young women, to charges where they've been thrown out when they've got to the end or there's not enough evidence. So I do not trust the police in Barrow. And one of the lead detectives or something like that, female, who was in charge when they did the grooming gang investigation. They said there was no grooming gangs going on. She's moved to Manchester. We're not happy with it. I haven't got her name, but she has been mentioned a couple of times by Billy Pag UK. You'll find the name on his page. So and someone said, what about all the victims? Now, I'm going to get the Facebook post up first. I'm sure it was... 17 comments, right? And Yvonne Uruk says, oh my God, if she's lying, it won't help the poor girls that need report anything else. I agree, she deserves a prison sentence. She's going to get a prison sentence. She's already done a couple of years. So I can't see them giving her a 10-year prison sentence. Now, if they did, that's obviously a joke, because there's rapists out there who have actually raped 13-year-old girls. They don't have mental health issues, who get less than that. But so Yvonne says, what about all the other girls who need to report anything? Well, if you know, I don't. The thing is, right? I do all these videos, and obviously I put them on Facebook, and people obviously don't watch them, because I've said in my other videos, I have said in my other videos about particular cases and stuff like that, and we already know that for 4 years prior to Ellie, the police were ignoring public the police were ignoring public complaints for the sake of diversity. I've proved it already 4 years before Ellie. So it doesn't matter what Ellie's done, whether she's guilty or not guilty, but they've been ignoring girls for 4 years before Ellie. We shouldn't even be putting Ellie's case, shouldn't even be in this thing. If we go back 4 years before Ellie, we've been ignoring members of the public's request. And what else have they been doing? The police have been giving they've been telling the media about these things. How do I know this? Because I did a video on it already. I did a video on this already. Ronnie Waters was in contact with girls 4 years prior to Ellie's case. And, you know, so after that, am I supposed to believe everything that's against Ellie? Well, I don't. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Obviously, if there's a whiff of a case to get something, they want to throw as much on as they can. And looking at one of the reports, it said she was in a consensual relationship with an Asian man. Now, why did they have to say consensual? Why can't they just say she was in a relationship with an Asian man? Why did they have to say she was in a consensual? Because they need to get people to, you know, like, oh well, she's asked for this relationship. I don't know anything about the Asian man. Don't name him or anything, but I just don't trust our services. And you know, like, there's people on here commenting who don't even go to court cases. There's people on here commenting who certainly don't do the research and look into the cases like I do, and just saying all politically correct things. I mean, going forward, I would want to know how she got in that position in the first place. And I've been guilty of saying things wrong against people who've been in her position. I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. A few years, about 3 years ago, I said something about a girl that I shouldn't have done. But what about the situation to stop her getting into that situation? We have Prevent, which, like, gets people who look like they're going on extreme on the right track, but we don't have anything, any kind of thing for. We don't have a government thing like to help young women who've got mental health issues. We don't have anything like that. They've got to, like, what, you know, their help has to come from some charity or something. But they have the Prevent program, so they sniff that you're like looking at stuff, nationalist stuff, then that they're on your case. Honestly, you know, the system's so messed up. It's so messed up. Now, again, she's already done a couple of years, Ellie. I can't see her getting much more than this, mate, already. I'm guessing there's going to be. I'm not saying it's all been plastered on mental health. It'll come out. It'll come out the sentencing, and it should come out. You know, if she's got issues or anything that go along the young person issues, and you know, like, I've got a lot of friends who work with young people, who work with people like Ellie Williams, who are liars for whatever reason. They work with these kind of people. And what they don't do, they don't go on Facebook saying they should get fucking 20 years or undrawn and quartered, like a load of dicks on Facebook are saying these kind of things. You know what I mean? And I'm never going to say that kind of thing. And I just hope that nobody says it of your kids, because don't think our kids are innocent. There's plenty of people here who've had similar issues with their kids when they've lied or they're gagging for attention and all that lot. But you know, the guilty, so fuck them off, throw them down the jail for 20 years and all that. Honestly, if you're gonna run a country and you want to run it like that, go to Pakistan, please. Don't do it in England. Go to Pakistan. That's what I want you to do. And I'm not saying every criminal should be helped, and I'm not saying that. But in this case, there's issues. I'd like to know her upbringing. Was she a victim of some kind of abuse when she was younger? I don't know. She might. I'm not saying she is, which could have added to what's going on. And what they're not telling us, she's lied about her case, but is the link what she's saying and actual child sexual exploitation? No one's even said anything. And the people in Barrow have highlighted shops and everything that stuff is serious stuff is going on. There's court cases. The last one was 3 men from Yorkshire in connection to Barrow and Cumbria. So is there a link between what she says and other cases? It doesn't look like it. Just looks like it's just all on her head. But I would be wanting to see what other cases. But I mean, anyone comes to me and starts going on about what about the victims and all this, for 4 years they've been ignoring victims in Cumbria and Barrow before Ellie Williams, ladies and gentlemen, before. So they've been ignoring them, and there's evidence of this. We've got the evidence. I did a video and I went through the evidence we've got, which is Anne-Marie Waters. Whether, doesn't matter if you like her or not, she's got the evidence, she's got the email. She says this on the video, and she's never been convicted of a crime. And she calls out Amy Fenton, the media person. She calls out her and the police for handing public details for data breaching. That's what she does. She calls them out, and this has all gone on in the background. But anyone else saying anything on here? They don't say anything about other child sexual exploitation that is going on in Barrow. It's all a concerted effort that none of that stuff is going on, but it is. And you know why? You know why else I followed this case was the similarities between what's going on in Barrow right now and other towns. Rotherham went through the same thing where people were ignored by the police. The local councillors wouldn't listen to them. The local councillor denied that stuff was going on, but it was. And we're at the position in Barrow where it's like it's now come out in the open, sort of like that stuff is going on there, the same as what Rotherham was, the same thing in Telford, all the things similar with what's going on in Barrow. I've explained all this before. I've explained the stuff through the police, how the media are reacting. So she's lied. And again, I never said she was totally innocent. And I've said on many other videos that she probably has lied. That's what I've said. If you doubt me, go back and look at some of my Ellie Williams videos, please. But remember, behind the bigger picture, there's a lot more going on. And I would really, the biggest thing for me is knowing what's going on behind the scenes, and if there is any links to other cases and stuff going on in Barrow, that's what I would, and I will find out. Actually, I will find out eventually. I know I will. Stuff will come out. Obviously, some of the people under the investigation are just liars anyway. There were two shops highlighted in this time, and these shops were being victimized, but they were hiring illegal immigrants to work in the shops while all this was going on. So no, we can't trust. I cannot fully trust anything that's going on in Barrow that's given out in media form or even the police. I can't. And the other thing that makes me wound up is that right now I'm in contact with a very vulnerable couple who've been arrested and convicted of a charge by Barrow police, and they haven't done anything wrong. And they're trying to get legal help. They've been branded and got criminal charges against them, never been in trouble in their life, And these aren't like, they are working class people, but they're not like ignorant or unintelligent. And right now, they've been convicted of false charges, put on gagging orders and all sorts of stuff. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the unaccountability that our police forces have. So right now, I'm having to deal with this, not stress over it, but try and talk to these people, give them some direction, support them where I can. And I physically went to meeting them both. And then all the while, then I've got to deal with this Ellie Williams case, and then the police are involved in it. I'm sorry. If you think that I'm just being paranoid, then let me know. But I keep telling you that the police are unaccountable. The police are horrible in Barrow. They just give nothing more than giving away public information to the media. And this is a police in Barrow. So, Ellie's guilty. Do I believe everything in the case? No, I don't. Is child sexual exploitation going on in Cumbria and Barrow? Yes. Are the police and media failing and being politically correct in Barrow? Yes, they are. So she's getting sentenced in March. So I just, like I said, there's people on here were saying for her to get 20 years. Well, I hope you are the same people outside the courts that I go to when the rape gangs are up and they're only getting 2 and 3 years. You should be outside the fucking courts and screaming for them to get 20 years. And these are people without mental health issues who've abused 13-year-old girls. And obviously there's a girl with issues here, and you lot are screaming 20 years, 20 years. Horrible people. I'm being blunt. And if you think that I'm out of order, then fair enough. But I just hope that nobody talks about your kids like that. I hope that nobody says things like that about your family. That's what I don't want, because that is awful. That is certainly the wrong way to go on these kind of issues. We should be looking at making sure it doesn't happen to the next girl, educating them properly at school, educating them properly in a good family environment. I don't know about Ellie's family background. I don't know if she come from a stable family. She might not have. And these are all issues these days that happen with our kids. So going forward, I want people to be families. I want a mum and a dad. And I want them kids taught the masculinity of the man and the femininity of the woman. I want them to be looking after the younger sisters. In Rochdale, we did a demo in Rochdale. This is Big John. This is Big John. Prime time Big John. We did Rochdale in demo with PAG UK. And after going to the local council, we come out and there was some kids there. 3 or 4 girls and a couple of lads. So they asked us what was going on, and I told them about child sexual exploitation. Yeah, we've heard about it. Do you get taught about it at school? Yeah, we do, and all this lot. And I said, "Is any of you lot related? And have you got any brothers and sisters?" And this girl went, "This is my brother." And I turned round to him, "What do you do then? Do you look after your sister?" He says, "Yeah." What do you mean you look after her? Like when she's coming back from town, do you go and wait for her at the bus stop? Yeah, I do. If she's going to somewhere on her own, and do you escort her there? Yes, I do. That's what the lad will like. And that's how I want a family. I don't want the lad saying, "Ah, fuck her." You know what I mean? She's old enough to look after herself. But that's what that lad said, which give me pride that, you know, like, he'll grow up to be a good guy and he will look after his sister. And besides his sister, because he looks after his sister, it rubs on him, and then he wouldn't have it for any other woman, would he? If he's seen another woman in distress, he wouldn't have it for them, and he'd go over and help them. So that's a sign of a well brought up, family educated young lad. And give me, that's what we want. We don't want single mother families. We don't, because we know the statistics on single mother families shows that the kids don't grow up with them values properly and stuff. And a lot of the lads go off the rail, really off the rail. The statistics out there, you hear this all the time. So, you know, the nationalising party, we are for family. We are for family. If we ever got in government, there would be, I would like to give bonuses to families. Libya, when Gaddafi was there, he gave money to first-time families to get a mortgage on an house and stuff like that. That's what he did. You know what I mean? Now, in England, what do we do for first-time families? We just suck them dry for every penny. We don't give them no help with the kids. You know what I mean? It's really off-putting to start a family in the UK that you just don't get enough for them. One of the primary reasons for running in Hollingwood was a woman, 30 years old now, 2 children, my best friend's daughter, who I've known her all her life since I held her the first week she was born, you know what I mean? And went round to the house, I babysat, I've been a role model to her and her cousins and stuff like that. And 6 years to get a 2-bedroom house in the area where she was born. It took her 6 years. And it's not like they haven't tried. They got put in a flat and it was good for temporary, but the flat wasn't good enough. 6 years to get a 2-bedroom house for a young new family. They don't get any kind of help with the kids. I think they get like so many hours a week free, but that's it. Everything else you have to pay for. We're coming into this cost of living crisis, nothing for them. And if it wasn't that they didn't have family around them, they wouldn't be able to have a family themselves. You know what I mean? And the support in that family goes right up to the support in that family goes up to great grandparents support, and they have a good family. So luckily, but 6 years to get a 2-bedroom house, ladies and gentlemen. Someone who's born in the area, you know what I mean, and always worked, you know, pays into the system like everyone else does. But you know, they just don't get enough help. So, you know, obviously our kids are being indoctrinated in schools with this gender identity, which is taking the femininity out of men and turning them all trans and all stuff like that. There's no masculinity left in them. So, you know, like, if that's happening on that side, how can it not? They can, you know, it can happen again with someone else. It could happen in Ellie's case where she's lied and she's gone to lie because of the way she's been taught or a bad family and stuff like that. I never slagged off a family, me. I just don't know anything about a family. I just know what I see. And again, it was a lefty who sent me the evidence to presume me to say that she has lied in other videos, which I've said. I don't know every little bit about the case. I just know what I see. And what I see behind it as well, what I see behind it. Again, if people are going to go on that, you know, she's caused strife for victims. The victims weren't being listened to for 4 years prior to that. So what it wouldn't matter anyway. What happened, whether Ellie's case or not was there, they've not been listening to victims. The police came out, said they'll listen to, they did an investigation, there's nothing going on. And then they come out and said, we'll listen to you and come forward. And, you know, like, I talked to people who were nothing to do with Ellie's case, to do with Barrow, and the fucking it's just mad how corrupt it is up there, how corrupt it is. So, you know, that's all I'm going to say. Sentencing's in March. I might try and make it to the sentence. I should have gone to at least one or two of the court appearances, but I've just not been able to. Mum's not been well, so and it's been a delicate time over Christmas and that, so I just haven't been able to go. And obviously, I had the election in November, my second election, so but I'm going to try and make it to the sentencing. But yeah, so we just won't do nothing. Just let it happen to another young woman and not think about it. You know what I mean? We don't have to care about our families. Fuck the education system. Just leave the kids in school and let them come out however they want to come out. That's what we should be doing. If not, then we've got to look at our education system. First of all, take out the indoctrination, teaching kids to be adults and teaching kids good social skills and teaching them the value of a family. The value of a family. You know, some people get in trouble and they don't have any family, but you know, there must be plenty of people on here who've got brothers and sisters who have helped them out in the past when you've had trouble. Please, I want people to set that has happened to them, where their family have helped them out. You know, they've gone on a rocky path and well, your mum, come move back in with me. We'll look after you for a bit, son or daughter. You know, but we don't have that now. Once someone's pushed out, they're fucked off, and that's it. No, people just don't care about them. And I know people try their hardest. I've got Patriot friends who are like over 60 and they've got to deal with this yet. They've got to deal with kids and you know, family members who are adults and who've messed up and stuff like that. So, you know, going forward, if we had a perfect world, our kids would have these social skills. They won't be liars. They won't be little scumbags who do antisocial behaviour. They won't do any of this, and they'd have some definition in life to where they wanted to work with. And you know, I'm all for me. I think kids should be at school till they're 18, just normal basic school. Yeah, and then they should do a couple of years of work placements. I'm all right sending disruptive kids to boot camp, to the army boot camp. I am really in for all that because what it'll end up teaching respect. You'll get some sergeant guy shouting at you, but like in the end, you'll learn respect, which will help you then in the rest of your life. It will help you in the rest of the life. It'll help you in the rest of your life. You know, if I was a faithful man now, I'd be telling you a sermon. That's how I'm trying to go on that line. I'd be telling you a sermon that'll help you and give you the Lord for the rest of your life. But no, if we teach the kids these good social skills, they won't get in these positions. We know that a lot of the girls who were raped in Rotherham and Telford come from dysfunctional families, single parent families. They didn't get the right kind of help and stuff like that. The authorities have said they didn't know how to handle these kind of things, even though they're still saying it. That's what they said then, even though they're still saying it now. But we need to get a better grip on these kind of things, I think. Then we won't end up with Ellie Williams's, or we won't end up with like black youth going murdering people over drugs in London. We won't end up with as many like loose people. So that's all I can say. Anyway, going forward, welcome to the National Housing Party. Oh, Arlene, hi Arlene. I think so, John. I think so. I'm guessing they would be normally because once they've been convicted, the media comes out with it all, and there is a lot of articles in the media about it. And yeah, so I'm guessing the restrictions would. I can't see that they're not lifted. I think that the restrictions will still be on. But I've not said anything connected with the case or the evidence that has gone in. I've not said anything like that. I do talk about the case, but I never said about evidence. And it was only now that I've said that it was a lefty who showed me stuff that presumed that she lied, and it was a lefty who did that. I could have been a right cunt and just ignored him, but that's not me. He sent me some decent links. I checked the stuff out, and then I like I had a better view of it. And it was a lefty. It's somebody who'd be screaming at me on the picket line. But I did it. I listened to what they had to say. But so that's the case. I'm sorry for Ellie. She's been locked up for 2 years, and I can't say that it's a good thing for a young woman or anything like that. Hopefully, she'll have learned a lesson, and she will get any kind of professional help that she needs. Now, people, fuck her, just leave her in the prison. But, these rapists get better help than somebody like her. These rapists get better help than the indigenous people here. They do. They get better help. You know what I mean? We've got murderers and rapists who just get like better help, better things than just to put the indigenous population. So there it is anyway. But if you want to join us, I've put the link to the party link in the chat. I've got a couple of. I'm speaking in I'm speaking in Merseyside this month. Patriot meeting. Not going to say anything else. It's not private, but it's a Patriot meeting. But I'm speaking this month, so that'll be good. Also, we're hoping to get down to maybe the Rebs place and get Arlene's hair chopped off for charity. That's still got to be sorted out. But yeah, so May is my important election time. If you can help, if you're passing through, if you like to spend a day up here, anytime during April up to the beginning of May, if you want to spend a day up here, please contact me. I mean, I can't say I can physically put anybody up or anything like that, but more closer to the time, there might be availability of somewhere people can stay if coming up. Might be, but I know there will be a couple of people coming up staying in hotels anyway. So if you'd like to join us on Telegram, we have a Telegram page as well. Thank you, Andy Red Volvo. Telegram page is in the chat. National Housing Party link is also to our site in the chat. So I've got me and Paul Rimmer will be every Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. 7 o'clock every Tuesday will be on for an hour and talking about things to do with the party and stuff like that. So that will be every Tuesday. Right, thanks. Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Sorry about that. Kara's just going. My mum's not been too well, actually, so we think she's had some kind of bug. She's not been eating and drinking. She's just been throwing it up. But she seems to have she started eating and drinking today. So it's been a rough few days for me. I've been on sick watch, and I haven't hardly had any sleep past couple of nights because I have to keep getting up, checking my mum's not been sick and asleep or anything like that, or while she's on a bed. I mean, once she's sick, and you know she doesn't like be sick straight away afterwards unless we try getting something down her. So it's unlikely that she would be sick in bed, but it's the effect on me that I can't go to sleep until she's in, you know, until I know, and I've got to keep checking on her. Arlene will tell you. Arlene will tell you what it's like, and so for past like 3 nights, I've just had a nap, got up, checked on my mum, had a nap, got up, checked on my mum, had a nap, got up, checked on my mum. That's all I've done for past 3 nights. But you know, it's not that it pains me to do it. It doesn't. I love doing it. But it's just the kind of thing you have to do. But that's how it is. That's how it is. But good evening, Aunt Sally. Oh, the 15-minute zones. Boxing fan. But yeah, so she's eating and they just give us a bit of rice pudding as well. But I'm gonna obviously for the next couple of hours make sure she's drinking stuff like that. Get plenty of juice. She'll do definitely a cup full of juice and just giving her. But she had some chocolate today, and what I did, I put it on a little table. I showed her it with her, and then when I was sat down on settee, I seen her put her hand out, check for the chocolate, have some of it, put it down, went back, got more of it, went in. So that's really good signs for my mum. And then we had my sister up from Peterborough yesterday, and so I was kicking my mum's the footrest on a wheelchair. I was just tapping it with the bottom of my boot, and then my mum got her other foot and tried to kick me because I was, you know, just tapping the bottom of hers. So when you get reactions like that, the classic reactions, and she give me the look, like, you know, then we're doing it like, right, you better pack it in, you. But yeah, so she was in a pretty good mood yesterday, even though she's had 2 days of not being well. She was still in a good mood and lively. So that's my mammy Pat. But yeah, so May's a big time. If you're in Oldham, watch out for my leaflet. Please give me a call. Please give me a call. A few people have slagged me off, but they never go on about anything that's on the leaflet. They never say anything like that. Can you tell me something specific? No. And you know what I mean? I don't know how I'm supposed to help people, but even if someone didn't vote for me, I'd still be knocking on their door. Don't think that, like, if someone said they're not going to vote for me, don't think that I won't be knocking on your door when election comes again. I will. I'll be knocking on all these doors again. I'm not going to mark, once I'm in as a councillor, I'm not going to ignore doors that I've marked that people won't vote for me. I'll be doing extra to knock on them doors. You might not agree, but you might agree with me on something. You might think, well, I don't agree with him on this issue, but this particular issue is very right on. So, you know, like, and again, nobody in Oldham is talking about gender identity, and it's going to be the next big thing, gender identity and sex education in schools is going to be the next big thing that causes civil unrest. And Oldham is going to be one of the places where it happens. I'll tell you where it's going to happen. It's going to happen in Oldham. It's going to happen in Batley, and it's going to happen in Birmingham. Them are the three places where it'll happen first, because of the gender in schools now. No other party says anything about it. You know what I mean? The other parties might as well be putting pronouns on the leaflets and stuff like that. None of that from me. None of that. And I mean, if you agree with me on that one issue, you should be voting for me, because no one else is going to listen to you. So if you're a Muslim and in Oldham, they're going to be pushing this on you. And what's happened is that Ofsted have said Oldham's not doing enough in schools about gender identity, because the teachers don't want to they don't want to teach the Islamic kids. That's what they don't want to teach that stuff to them, and they know that they won't listen to it. So Oldham's under pressure off Ofsted to put more gender identity into school learning. So let me tell you that. Might surprise some people, think, fucking hell, really? But it is. And why is because the teachers and the schools are not teaching it. Let me tell you that. They're not teaching it in some schools in Oldham. Because them schools are dominated by Muslims and they're not listening to the teachers. And the parents have probably been emailing in or whatever. But if you vote for the Labour Party, the Conservative, the Lib Dems, the Greens, you're voting for gender, sex education in schools because all them are pushing it. And in the Labour Party, you might be voting for Labour Party. You might end up getting a trans woman as the leader of the Labour Party. You're still going to vote for the Labour Party with a trans woman, Muslims. I don't think so. I won't be voting for them. But anyway, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Big John here, NHPUK TV. Next week, hopefully, if everything goes well, next week, I've got the PCP girls on. Public Child Protection. They're running in elections, and they're also taking the Welsh Government to court. So we'll have the couple of the girls on next Thursday, which I'm looking forward to. Great set of girls, all mums, and they're doing the right thing, and they're taking the Welsh Government to court over sex education in schools. And one of them has already run in a local election as well. And you know what I think about people who step forward and do the right thing. So these girls deserve our time, deserve your money if you're going to donate to them, because they're actually doing things that are going to affect the whole, not just a little piece, not just an individual, it'll affect the whole. So we've got to really get behind stuff like that. So it'll be great stuff. Hopefully, get them on next week if they haven't got any court cases going on, because they've got an appeal going and stuff like that now. And I will talk to Kim tonight to make sure she's okay, and we'll get them on. So that'll be next Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you very much. John's last thoughts of the day now. My thoughts of the day now is you want to change how things are going in your life. If you want to change how things are going in your life, get out of bed in the morning. Big John's words. And that is from the Gospel of Big John. Thank you very much.